It's at Othium.
Please.
Anyway.
All right.
Welcome to episode 2 of How Marvelous. I am J.R. Sweany.
I am Mikki, Lexa.
And I'm Max Coker.
Hello.
Thank you for getting through the first episode.
Yes, thank you. There were some weird turns taken, but that's okay. We're back, and we are doing What If Volume 1, Number 2 from April 1977. What if the Hulk had always had Bruce Banner's brain? And this one is written by Roy Thomas, penciled by Herb Trimpe, inked by Tom Sutton, colored by Glynis Wein, lettered by Joe Rosen and Tom Orzechowski. Pretty straightforward concept. Instead of becoming the... early on, the Hulk was just kind of an asshole. And then later he became brutish. This one says, okay, this time around, he keeps his intellect when he transforms into the Hulk, and it kind of just becomes like an annoyance. Like I can't, because because he doesn't keep trying to go down weird paths to cure himself, it winds up becoming he still just transforms at night.
Which is a thing I completely forgot about from the early stuff.
Well, and thankfully it also bypasses some of the other early shit that really, like, Rick Jones controls the Hulk, like, stuff like that from the early issues of Hulk that were just like, you guys really just don't know what the fuck to do with this, do you? But yeah, it really is. It's kind of like, instead of being like this dichotomy wherein, you know, Bruce is a weakling but in something resembling control, and the Hulk is strong but childlike. It's just kind of like, you have Bruce, and then you have Bruce, but he can also crush your skull like an egg.
It's much more were Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
especially with the at night thing. It's so weird. And and also not
the whole language that's written in throws me off. Like, just how the dictation is so straightforward.
Yeah, and you get this. It's really odd when Ross is kind of introduced into the situation, because he just kind of, at first he's just like, what? You know, but then they're just like, no, like, it's Bruce, it's just he's big and green sometimes. And he's just like, okay, no, I can accept this. And this is honestly kind of a problem I have with Ross in general, is that at the point that I started reading Hulk, I didn't like Ross, because he's a monomaniac who is just out to destroy Hulk. Hands down, that's all that matters. But going back and actually reading some of the old issues of Hulk, it's really odd, because Ross is one of the few characters in Marvel who has lost nuance over the years.
Yes.
Because if you read the old issues of Hulk, like, Ross is a caring father who genuinely cares not only about Betty, but also cares about Bruce, but just recognizes that the Hulk is a destructive force of nature. Whereas the way you see Ross now, most of the, well, not now, because there's that whole Red Hulk thing, which is its own fucking barrel of worm.
But yeah, like the way he was in the 90s and the 80s and everything.
Right.
Yeah. Where he was just like, I've got to destroy the Hulk, and that's all that matters, and fuck anybody who gets in my way, even if it's my own daughter.
Yeah.
And that's not an interesting character. Ross, the way he was early on, was interesting. But
early 70s Ross is extremely compelling. Because he's, like you said, you said all the things. I don't need to repeat it. Go ahead.
So, this issue, we, I do like, I like the cover for this, because the cover is by Herb Trimpe as well, and of course Herb Trimpe, at this point in time, is doing Hulk, so he's well acquainted with drawing these characters, but the cover has like a bunch of people pointing guns at Hulk, and Ross stepping in between, and he's like, "Stop, don't shoot. He may be a green-skinned monster, but he's also my son-in-law." And it's
like that's the same in the other universe as well. Ross is just more of an asshole there.
Right. But the issue itself starts, and it's a fairly, it's kind of got a standard...
regular Thursday in Hulkdom.
Yeah.
Like, this
He's
is
just
no
like,
specific
puny humans,
point.
leave Hulk alone.
Yeah. This is no specific point in Hulk history. This is just, he's in a city on accident, hulked out, got mad, and then jumped off to a mesa. Or a mountain.
Yeah.
Where he just thinks but doesn't even know what to think about, which is I feel like this is some sort of meta commentary on trying to write the Hulk.
I really want to do this, but I don't know what to do it about.
Yeah. And of course the Watcher shows up, and for whatever reason Herb Trimpe kinda, so we've still got super buff bald dude Watcher, albeit not as big a head, but it kind of looks like it was copied over directly from like a Kirby Silver Surfer almost.
That's what I was going to say, is the inking looks very Kirby.
Yeah. He's very boxy, there's lots of crackle, floating heads, all that wonderfulness.
Yeah. And after some preliminaries by the Watcher, we get right into things. We are treated to Hulk's origin, again, in case you're unaware. Man,
just
but
a
then
whole lot of shit would have been handled if he would have been like, well, there goes an idiot kid. Fuck.
Oh well.
Bye. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know him. Who cares? Goodbye.
Yeah.
Kind of a dumb kid wanders onto a nuclear test site. Seriously.
Well, fuck it, I guess.
Saving the gene pool. This is fine.
But one thing I will say about this issue is, this is kind of the best case scenario when it comes to these sorts of stories, where you change a small thing and then kind of carry it out from there. Like one of my favorites is the miniseries Bullet Points, which does it beautifully. You have a relatively minor change. What?
Who is that? Who wrote that? Straczynski?
Maybe? I don't know. But the upshot is, you have this relatively small change, and it results in all of these unforeseen consequences. Yeah, it was Straczynski that wrote it. No wonder I fucking love it. But anyway, you know, this is sort of like that prototypical sort of thing wherein you start out with what seems like a fairly straightforward concept, and then you explore from there. Oh, but wait. So, things go along, and you've got like the initial Hulk stuff where, like, there's Ivan who pressed the button that wound up turning Banner into the Hulk in the first place, and so on and so forth. The Gargoyle. That all kind of plays out somewhat similarly. But then from there, Betty and Bruce spend some time together and fall in love. Betty is just like, Daddy, Bruce is the Hulk and we're in love. I love that giant green dick. And, I mean, let's be real. And so they build a special reinforced house for when he has his episodes, and he does some work, and generally they live a happy, idyllic life until eventually he is called by Reed Richards to come out and do some work with the Fantastic Four, specifically in
so
trying to
we're already retreading the first issue of this comic.
Yeah. So he's called in to do some work for for the Fantastic Four, specifically in trying to cure Ben. And unlike every other version of this, they succeed. Ben is restored to human form, and he doesn't immediately decide to go back to being the Thing again. Like, he's cured, and he stays that way for a full minute. But then, so we already have like the initial ripple effects. Then, on his way back from New York, after that, we have the beginnings of the Avengers, wherein Loki tries to railroad the Hulk into being his instrument on Earth, but because the Hulk has Banner's brain, he doesn't fall for it, and the Avengers never get together. So fuck you, world.
I actually love that.
But
and also, we get
running
robbed
along,
of
and he's
the.
like, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no! I was just gonna say we also get robbed of the image of the Hulk as a clown who ran away to a circus to hide from the Avengers.
Oh darn! Yeah, the stellar robot clown disguise from Avengers #1. How will that Earth carry on?
And how dare Joss Whedon not include that in the movie?
That's true. That is one of many things I will hold against him until the day I die. But anyway, so yeah, he gets back home after failing to bring together the Avengers, and after a few days he receives a telegram in which Reed Richards is just like, "Hey, really enjoyed working with you. Thought we might make this partnership permanent, so that I can ignore my girlfriend even harder."
Maybe,
so
perhaps you would like to ignore your girlfriend as well.
Well, and even better because they're married at Bruce and Betty are married at this point. So yeah, Reed Richards, not content to destroy his own relationships, is now out to destroy others. But so we have Bruce and Betty moved to New York City so that Bruce can work with Reed. And then they're working in the lab late one night.
No, it has to be during the day.
No, I know.
Okay. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, when their eyes beheld a terrible fright and enrolled Charles Xavier.
Yeah, and I love that Banner as the Hulk is just going around unmaking the entire Marvel Universe. Because Xavier shows up and he's just like, "Hello, my name is Charles Xavier, and I was going to start a school for mutants, but instead I've decided to fuck off to New York City to work with you." And so the three of them work together to build a slightly expanded version of Cerebro.
The Psychotron.
Yeah, the Psychotron.
Which there's even an editor's box that's like, "Don't worry, it's not that Psychotron."
Yeah,
we have limited imaginations.
Thank God they stepped in to point out that it's not the other Psychotron that I'd forgotten existed.
That was the oh shit! I know who that was. It was also a Hulk story. God damn it! And it was when he was in Siberia. Okay, never mind. I'll remember later.
All right.
No, I won't. I won't give a shit at all. So, the upshot is they're inventing stuff, and because he has a schedule, Galactus shows up. Because this was about the time Galactus was going to show up, and nobody's ready at all for this.
Well, right.
No one has any
The
Twinkies
Fantastic
ready.
Four has basically disbanded.
Yeah.
There are no Avengers. There are no X-Men. Sorry, go ahead.
There is, however, Professor Charles Xavier's amazing flying car.
Yeah.
I
Which
love it. It's so
This is a
stupid.
fair trade for the X-Men and its entire history. This one car.
Yeah, he's got, it's this fucking, like, it's like the Enterprise sans the disc.
As a one-seater.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just got a little nozzle and a grill, and it shoots lasers, and he shoots Galactus in the face.
And Galactus is like, okay, fair play. You are courageous people.
Yeah.
SWAT, destroy. Like, he doesn't even... Yeah. That's just like, that was annoying. Quit it.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, he completely wrecks him. He totally wrecks him. And yet, in no pun intended, Charles walks away.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is also the first, in this continuum, the first he changes into Hulk because of his emotions and not it's night. It was broad daylight and he changed into Hulk.
Right. And so yeah, so you've got Banner hulked out, you've got Reed just kind of there, and Xavier getting knocked out of the sky. So they go back in and they climb into the Psychotron, and they merge themselves into a giant... Basically what it looks like is a giant orange Professor Xavier in his underwear.
Yeah, it's a sight to be to see.
Yeah.
If I was denying the divinity of Joss Whedon earlier, then I must likewise damn Bryan Singer for not giving us this golden god.
Yeah, definitely. And, like, honestly, with some of the other stuff that made its way into the X-Men franchise, why the fuck not? But,
I like to think of this as the first appearance of Onslaught.
I was actually going to say it's very Onslaught-esque, yes.
Yeah. So they merge themselves into the X-Man at the exact moment that Ben Grimm wanders in. Do what?
Oh, that was supposed to be Ben Grimm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I read it a bunch of times, and was like, I have no sweet clue who this guy's supposed to be. I thought he was like a fucking janitor or something. Smack him!
No. It's Ben, and he's just like, ugh. Excuse me. He's like, hey, who the fuck are you? You're staying put until I make sense of what's going on here. At which point the X-Men is just like, get out of the way, and knocks him aside
into some weird machinery, and we all know what's coming.
Right? Yeah. And so the X-Man goes to confront Galactus, and he and Galactus, I like to imagine that we, as the semi-objective reader, know what's going on here, but I like to think that for anyone watching this, it looks like a staring contest for the fate of the world.
Yes.
But
between two huge, weirdly proportioned beings.
Yeah, well,
but we know better
here.
That they are having passionate sex.
Sure.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
I think this is the way Galactus mates.
Yeah.
I mean, is that not what the handles on the sides of his helmet are for?
Jesus Christ, I hate you.
You don't ask
well,
about
then
the
you
handles.
Explain them.
My favorite bit of this is post-staring contest. The Watcher comes forward and is like, see, in this universe, I didn't have to interfere. Like, in the other universe, I broke my one oath for the first time and gave them the ultimate nullifier to beat the Galactics with, but in this universe, I didn't have to. I like this one better.
The thing that I like about the Watcher's Oath is that the Watcher's Oath is like the prime directive in Star Trek, in that it's primarily brought up as the first part of a sentence that then leads into why just this once we have to break that oath. But no, so Galactus and the X-Man I fuck for a while. And then Galactus is just like, no, I could spend months or even years doing this, and by that time I will have wasted away to basically nothing. Far better that I find another world with far less fuckable fauna to contend with. And so
listen, who hasn't been in a relationship like that?
Right? It's just like I spend you're in that honeymoon period where you're just never leaving the bedroom, and it's just like, I have to do something here or I will literally die of malnutrition. But so Galactus leaves, at which point the X-Man spent drops to the ground and splits back into his component parts, all of whom are suddenly powerless. And so then we go back to the Baxter building, where the ladies are now sifting through the rubble, and they find Ben, and oh no, he's the Thing again, because of course he is.
But he's also stronger and super pissed.
Yeah, this is there was that brief period where it was like Ben is the Thing again, but also kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're doing that now. But he's just like, fuck you all, I'm out. And so we wind up on an Earth without the Fantastic Four, without the X-Men, and without the Avengers. Thing is out there wandering around, and Ross gets together a group of Thing busters to go fight the Thing, and you know, as as they say, stupid finds a way. But the so yeah, I like I said, I like, you know, this I think is a good base example of how to do this sort of thing, wherein you take a minor change that really shouldn't cause that many ripples, and then you're just like, but you've forgotten about this thing, and then maybe we'll toss in this other thing, and what about this? And what I'm saying is, go read bullet points. No,
I feel like this was a good issue. You're absolutely right, but they haven't yet figured out when to stop. Like when the natural evolution of the story should have ended when they stopped being X-Man and they lost their powers. Therefore, there's no Marvel Universe. The Thing is dead. Done. But instead, they keep going, and it kind of it trails off like a bad SNL sketch.
Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it. The other thing that's really frustrating is Herb Trimpe, especially at this point, is a fairly decent artist. Or no, yeah. Sorry, I was
77. He should be better than this.
Yeah, he like.
I mean, I know at this point he's probably got 6 books he's drawing, but
yeah, and this is absolutely the bottom of that pile in terms of importance for him.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But I'm also wondering because so let's see. The inker was Tom Sutton.
He's not bad.
He's not bad. I'm just wondering, like, I don't know. Like, he's had some work prior to this, but like, I really don't know. Come on, Tom.
He's not bad. This ain't good.
Well, yeah. And you're exactly right that the reason for that, and it's really weird because the first few pages of this are really good, and you can tell it's because they were like, get him in the fucking door. And then the last 5, you're just like, clearly no one was trying anymore.
Right.
Everyone has agreed that the story is over.
Glennis is the only one who was like, I'm still here, guys. I'm still doing my job, because if I don't, you'll fucking put me in a fridge or something. Like...
Yeah, Len seems like that type.
But, no, she's still kind of, holding her own. But, no, Herb and Tom are just like, okay, fine. We finished it.
Just crank it out. I got shit to do. I've got way bigger books to work on.
I have
than this
6
shit.
issues of Iron Man I have to draw tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I always find, these stories where Galactus is unleashed upon an unsuspecting world kind of interesting because, in the normal 616 universe, Uatu has to come down and give them the magic MacGuffin to make him go away. but in basically every other fucking universe that Galactus shows up, he doesn't have to do that. And so it's just kind of like, so in this one instance, he quote unquote had to break his unbreakable oath. But
because
no,
again, no one had a single Twinkie available.
Yeah.
I just love
unbreakable cosmic oath, availability of a Twinkie.
Yeah.
Weird. 616. The based on what you're saying, what I'm hearing is that 616, the universe that I'm supposed to want to read every month, is actually the shitty universe.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
yeah.
sir.
Okay.
If nothing else, I like to view it as the 616 universe is where they try out all the shitty ideas that they'll then make better in later issues of What If. Yeah. The 616 is my What If beta. The thing is, you know what I've never seen, and I would love to have happen, is they've Patton Oswalt once tried to do the Punisher Hostess fruit pie ad in that one issue that wound up never going out. I'd kind of like to see a Galactus Hostess ad, like where it's just like Galactus comes to Earth and he's just like, my insatiable hunger knows no bounds, and they're just like, what about the flaky crust of a Hostess fruit pie? And he's just like, that'll do. But anyway, okay, I don't know. That's just but yeah, so the next issue is what if the Avengers had never been, and or as I like to call it, fuck Iron Man. But
it's actually kind of satisfying.
Yeah, it is. I always like. What is it? The story goes that Stan Lee created created Tony Stark as part of a bet to see if he could get people to buy a book about an unlikable asshole, and it's just kind of like, yeah, that tracks. So, but yeah, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We are all on there individually, and then also our. The show has a Twitter handle that I did not think to write down or pull up because I am really good at podcasting.
Isn't it just at How Marvelous? I'm checking. I'm going.
It's at How Marvelous Pod.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, you can follow us there. We are all on there, but individually as well. If you guys want to plug your own Twitter handles, you are more than welcome to do so. I don't know, whatever.
I am Mikki Lexa. Yeah.
Who are you, JR?
I was waiting on you. Sorry. I am at J. Robert Sweany. And
I am at Othium2468.
Yeah.
It's spelled incorrectly, I realized. It's YEN in my handle. Because I'm an idiot.
You're probably the only person who would know. So.
I really am. There are Dune freaks out there like going, oh, you poor unfortunate soul.
Sad, strange little man. But yeah. My name also appears to be misspelled, but it's not. That's actually how I spell my last name, so fuck you. Anyway. That's right, listener. Fuck you personally. You.
No,
We
listen,
love
You know
come
why.
back. Sometimes I call him names.
Only the second episode, and I'm already trying to drive away our listenership.
It's fine. They
So.
quit. They turned us off a minute ago.
All right. Then allow me to tell you my thoughts on... No. This is going to turn into a Quillette
God.
screed or something. Anyway.
Thanks for joining
Quick, hit
us.
stop! Hit stop! Yeah, so thanks for joining us. I swear next time I will try to be less standoffish toward the end. Bye.